Shit. This is what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da, 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 da. Yo, what up, though, people? Like to welcome you back to the Keep It a C-No podcast. As always, I am your boy Brown. NFL recap, week 2, interesting week. If you're back on YouTube, definitely appreciate you. This is the first time tuning in. Please hit the sub button, hit the like button, and share it with a friend, man. We're going to start off in Cleveland. They was hosting the Jets, and the Jets got the 31-30 victory. We had a Joe Flacco sighting, people. 307, 4 touchdowns. Yikes. Joe Flacco definitely got busy. The rookie Brees Hall, he had 50 yards on the ground. Garrett Wilson. Shout out Garrett Wilson, a rookie. 8 catches, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Jets is 1-1. Look out, they did lose Sauce Gardner, so we got to keep an eye on that. But keep it a C-No. With Joe Flacco playing like this, do you bench him when Zach Wilson comes back from the injury, or do you stay with Flacco? Keep it a C-No, let us know. As for the Browns, they moved on to 1-1 too. Brissett threw for 229 and a touchdown. He also had an interception. Chubb got busy. If you had Nick Chubb on fantasy football, shout out to you. 80 yards on the ground, and he got in the end zone 3 times. Plus, we had an Amari Cooper sighting, people. 9 catches, a $101, and a touchdown in the loss. Again, Cleveland is 1-1. How you feel about it? How you feel about the Jets? Keep it a C-No with us. Next up, we had Detroit. Jared Goff and the boys. The number 2 pick, Hutchinson. They was hosting Washington, the Commanders, and they came away with the victory, got their first win of the season. Shout out Jared Goff. Threw for 256 and 4 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he ran for 68 yards. He caught 9 catches for 116, and he got in the end zone twice. He's the big hype. How y'all feeling about Amon-Ra St. Brown? I know my fantasy football community, I know y'all probably loving him, but NFL fans, how you feel about him? Is he the real deal? Keep it a C-No with us. Detroit is 1-1. As for Washington, Wentz threw for 337, 3 touchdowns and an interception. They got nothing on the ground, 28 yards. Gibson did get into the end zone as well with those 28 yards. And Curtis Samuel, he had 7 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Washington is 1-1. Keep it a C-No. What's the chances that the Detroit Lions make the playoffs? Let us know. Shout out to the rookie again. What's his name? Hutchinson, 3 sacks. He definitely got busy. Watch out for the Lions, y'all. They putting up points, for real, for real. Next up, we had Tampa Bay. They was in New Orleans, regular season. Since Brady been with Tampa Bay, he's 0-4 against New Orleans. But he came away with the win today, 20-10. Brady threw for 190 and a touchdown. He was frustrated most of the game, though. Fournette, he came into the game all banged up. He did finish with 65 yards. Mike Evans had 3 catches for 61 yards. He would be ejected for fighting Marshawn Lattimore. We got to keep an eye on that. They may be talking about suspensions. But Tampa Bay is 2-0. How you feeling about the Buccaneers? Keep it a C-No. How do they look? How y'all think Brady look with no line? Let us know. As for New Orleans, they just said that Winston, he got some type of injury in his back where it's like 4 bones messed up. And I don't know if that's the case or not. That's the reason for the horrible game. 236. He had a touchdown, but he threw 3 picks. Ingram 60 yards on the ground. I don't know why they stopped giving him the ball. I know he did fumble, but at one point in time, it looked like Tampa couldn't stop the run. Michael Thomas, he had 6 for 65 and a touchdown. The Saints are 1-1. Tampa Bay 2-0. What's your thoughts on it? Keep it a C note. Next up, we had the Giants looking to go 2-0. They was hosting Carolina, the Panthers. And shout out to the Giants, came away with the 19-16 victory. Jones threw for 176 and a touchdown. He didn't turn the ball over. Shout out to that. Saquon Barkley, 72 yards on the ground. And we had a Richie James sighting, people. Who? Man, knock it off. Richie James, 5 for 51. Shout out to that. The Giants, 2-0. What's your thoughts on the Giants? Keep it a C note. Can they make the wild card? Can they make a wild card spot? Let us know. As for Carolina, Baker Mayfield threw for 145 and a touchdown. McCaffrey ran for 102. And DJ Moore, 343 and a touchdown. Carolina is 0-2. Keep it a C note. Is Baker Mayfield the bust? I would say yes. What's your thoughts on it, though? Let us know. Next up, we had New England. They was in Pittsburgh trying to bounce back, get their first win of the season. And they accomplished that. They picked up the 17-14 victory. Daniel Jones, he threw for 252. Touchdown and an interception. Damian Harris had he had 71 yards on the ground, pardon me, and he also had a touchdown. And we had a Nelson Aguilar sighting, people. Shout out to Nelson Aguilar, 6 for 110 and a touchdown. New England is now 1-1. Watch out for Damian Harris. He did get a little shaken up at the end of that game. Keep an eye on that. As for Pittsburgh, they dropped the 1-1. Trubisky, 168. He threw for a touchdown and he had an interception. Najee Harris, 49 yards on the ground. If you got Najee Harris in your fantasy football league, keep it a C note. Are you getting nervous that you drafted him yet? Let us know. Deontay Johnson, he had 6 for 57. Again, Pittsburgh is 1-1. What's your thoughts on it? Let us know. Next up, this probably was a shocker to some people, but I wasn't really surprised. You had Jacksonville, the Jaguars. They was hosting the Colts. Jacksonville was 0-1 coming into the game. Indy fresh off a tie. Jacksonville was now 1-1. Shout out Trevor Lawrence. He threw for 235 and 2 touchdowns. James Robinson, 64 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And Christian Kirk, he's getting busy over Jacksonville, people. 6 for 78, 2 touchdowns. Again, Jacksonville was 1-1. How you feel about it? As for Indy, Matty Ice, 195 and 3 interceptions. Sheesh. Matty Ice. Jonathan Taylor, 54 yards on the ground. And Ashton Doolin, he finished with 5 catches for 79 yards. I will say that. I know Pittman Jr. didn't play. I know he was down a couple receivers. But I watched some of that game because I actually have Jonathan Taylor on my team. And he wasn't even looking for him out the backfield. Like a couple times he was wide open, and Matty Ice, he just looking one way. He can't see the whole field no more. I think Matty Ice is done. I've been saying it for 3 years. Keep it a C-note. Do y'all agree yet? Let me know. Next up, Baltimore. This was a disappointing game. Baltimore, the Ravens, they was hosting Miami. Had them up by 21 and end up losing. Shout out to the Dolphins with the 42-38 victory. Tua definitely got busy. 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mostert, he had 51 yards on the ground. Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 190, 2 touchdowns. Yikes. But then on the other side, you had Jaylen Waddle, 11 catches, 171, 2 touchdowns. Yikes. Yikes. Miami is 2-0, people. Keep it a C note. Jaylen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, after 2 weeks, is that the best wide receiver duo in the league? Keep it a C note with us. And before you answer, because I would say yes, they have definitely been the best duo so far. And before you answer, just think about you can have any quarterback in the league with that duo right now. And then answer the question, are they the best duo in the league? Because Tua is not that accurate. He be underthrowing stuff a lot and all that. So I think their numbers would be crazy if they had a better quarterback. But shout out Tua. He's definitely getting the job done. Miami's 2-0. Baltimore is 1-1. Next up, this was a bounce back game for the champs. The Ramley, you see it on my hat. They was hosting Atlanta. They came away with a 31-27 victory. They are now 1-1. Matthew Stafford, 272 in the air, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. You're killing me, Matt. You're killing me, like really. Darrell Henderson, he had 47 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp was Cooper Kupp, 11 catches, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Allen Robinson, shout out Allen Robinson. He got his first touchdown as a Ram. He caught 4 for 53 and had a touchdown. Again, LA is 1-1. As for Atlanta, they're 0-2. Shout out to them, though, because they came back, they made it a game, and they actually had a chance to win the game if it wasn't for a Jalen Ramsey interception. But shout out to them. Mariota, 196, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Cordell Patterson couldn't get going on the ground, 41 yards. But Drake London, he definitely got busy. Shout out Drake London, 886 and a touchdown. Kyle Pitts, again, 2 catches, 19 yards. Yikes. First 2 weeks, he averages 19 yards. I believe that was his numbers last week as well. Keep it a scene. I just want to know, where did all the hype for Kyle Pitts come from? Because last year he wasn't eye-popping and he had a Matty Ice. And we could have blamed it on Matty Ice and all that. But Mariota ain't that much better. So what made us think that, I know he might have did this and that in college, but what is really giving us the audacity to think that he's going to take a jump? He don't even look interested in games. He don't look like he can blow by nobody or nothing. That's just my thoughts, and I'm keeping it a C note. As for the Rams, Matthew Stafford, I got laughed at on the show. Vito, Tone, John, these guys laughed at me when I picked you for the MVP this year. So far in 2 games, you've thrown 5 interceptions. Like, really? Really? Shit, the only way you may win MVP now is if you go the rest of the season without throwing a pick. Hey, I think you can do it. But you got to tighten up, baby boy. Like, come on, man. You're making me look bad, man. I got people all in the DMs, all on my back. They laughing at me. Like, really? McVay, I don't know what goes through your mind. Like, you got to start thinking like that young, hungry coach that had Todd Gurley in him a couple years ago when y'all was running up the score on everybody. This conservative stuff you do when you get up 2 touchdowns or 13 points here is bull crap. McVay, you need to cut it out. Put your foot on the pedal and bury these jokers. Like, you let your foot up. Like, we've almost lost multiple playoff games like that last year. And It's like, come on, man. Atlanta was not supposed to come back this game. Sean McVay, this is a message to you. Get it together. Stafford, you're still my MVP as of right now, but you got to slow down with the picks. Aaron Donald, let's go, baby. Preseason over. Your preseason over. I gave you, you always get 2 weeks. Preseason is over. Let's get to rocking. Next up, Vito, what up, dog? What up, dog? San Fran. They was hosting Seattle. Came away with the 27-7 victory, but they suffered a loss. For some fans like Vito, who I know that player hater was somewhere slapping high fives with whoever he was with when Trey Lance got hurt and broke his ankle. Not because he wanted Trey Lance to break his ankle. Not because he doesn't have love for Trey Lance. But this guy knows that, well, he thinks that he can win any game with Jimmy G. Shout out to Vito. You know why we call him the lefty. But Jimmy G came in, he held it down, 154 and a touchdown. We had Jeff Wilson, 84 yards on the ground. Brandon Ayuk, 5 for 63. And Debo, 5 for 44. The Niners are 1-1. As for Seattle, Geno, it was all good just a week ago, baby. 197 and an interception. Rashad Penny. Shout out to my man Butchie Banks. I said after week 1, he might have been a genius. He jumped up in our fantasy draft like 2-3 rounds early to take Rashad Penny. How you feeling after that 15 yards from Rashad Penny, Butchie Banks? Keep it a C-note with us. How you feeling if you bench Tyler Lockett this weekend? Because I'm feeling like a jerk. I'm feeling bad about that, man. Tyler Lockett, 9 for 107. Seattle is 1-1. No rain. You had the quarterback. This the pocket quarterback. You got the win, but I'm going to just say like this. 5 for 54 yards. That's Allen Robinson numbers, and we all know Allen Robinson ain't a number one. I'm just keeping it a C-note. Debo, what up, dawg? Next up, we had Dallas. Shout out to all the Dallas fans, especially the ones that was in the DM talking crazy because they were hosting Cincinnati. They came away with the 20-17 victory. Cooper Rush. Dallas fans, you do remember last week I said y'all looked better when Cooper Rush came in. 235, and he threw for a touchdown. Zeke, 53 yards on the ground. Noah Brown, 5 catches, 91 yards and a touchdown. And shout out CeeDee Lamb, he had 7 for 75. I can admit the Dallas offense ran more fluid this week with Cooper Rush than it did before my man got hurt last week. And that's not knocking Dak or nothing. But, maybe it's just because Cooper Rush ain't been scouted like that. Maybe it's because you don't know who he's going to throw the ball to or not. But he definitely had the offense moving. Shout out to Dallas. They are 1-1. Newsflash, Dallas fans. You still ain't got nothing coming. I still don't got you making the playoffs. I'm just keeping it a C-note. As for Cincinnati, they are 0-2. Joe Burrow. 199 yards and a touchdown. Mixon, 57 yards on the ground. T. Higgins, 6 catches, 71 yards and a touchdown. Jamar Chase also had 5 for 54. And the number of times that Joe Burrow has been sacked or was sacked in this game is ridiculous. Cincinnati has no line whatsoever. Let's just pray that Burrow doesn't get killed. But keep it a C-note. After 2 weeks, are you worried about the Bengals? Are they looking like a playoff team? And you keep it a C-note. Let us know. Next up, we had Denver, the Broncos. Russ and the boys. They was hosting Houston. They came away with the 16-9 victory. Russ, he threw for 219, a touchdown and an interception. Javonte Williams, 75 yards on the ground. Cortland Sutton, He had 7 for 122. Shout out Jerry Jeudy. He did get injured that game. Got to keep an eye on that. Denver is 1-1. As for Houston, they fell a 0-1-1. Davis Mills, he threw for 177. Damian Pierce had 69 yards on the ground. And Nico Collins caught 4 for 58. Keep it a C note, y'all. What's your thoughts on Denver right now? What's your thoughts on Russ? Are they a playoff team? To me, honestly, I will say, for one, they need to get a kid, Javonte Williams, the ball way more. And looking at their receivers, I don't know if Sutton and Jeudy and those injuries are holding those guys back, but they can't get by nobody. I'm looking at them. Their offensive line is not strong. It's like the defense is getting through every time. They got those receivers running 15, 20-yard routes damn near on every play, and they can't get by nobody. Every time you see Cortland Sutton get to throwing the ball, if he's wide open, it's because it's a zone. If it's man-to-man, them boys be right there with him. He can't get by nobody. I don't know why they want to keep splitting time with Melvin Gordon, but he's not it. Shout out to Richard Sherman. Because I was on the show, me, Vito, and the guys, we said Richard Sherman was a hater when he said letting Russ cook might don't work. We only 2 weeks in, but I might agree with Russ. I might agree with Richard Sherman. I don't know. They don't look like a playoff team, but it's only 2 weeks, so I'm not going to panic. But what's your thoughts on it? Keep it a C note. Shout out Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals. They was in Vegas. They was down, but they kept fighting. Came away with the 29-23 victory in overtime. Kyler Murray threw for 277, a touchdown, interception. He also ran for a touchdown. He also ran for a 2-point conversion after he sat around and ran all around the pocket for 20 seconds. Really, Vegas? 20 seconds, y'all just let Kyler Murray run around holding the ball before he crosses and decides to take off going to end zone? You got to be kidding me. Darrell Williams, he had 59 yards on the ground. Shout out Zach Ertz, 8 catches, 75 yards. Arizona is now 1-1. How you feeling about it? Keep it a C note. We had Carr, 252, 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, only 69 yards on the ground. We had a Mac Hollins sighting, people. Who? Stop playing, y'all. Mac Hollins, 5 catches, 66 yards. Did anybody see Devontae Adams? Keep it a C note. Yikes. And I grind Debo up and I grind a lot of people up. So Devontae, 2 for 12 yards is not going to cut it. I don't know what's going on. Shout out Darren Waddle. He had 6 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Vegas is 0-2, people. Keep it a C note. Wish your thoughts on it. Let's wrap it up. Sunday Night Football. You had Green Bay trying to bounce back from the horrible start against Minnesota. They was hosting Chicago. Aaron Rodgers and the guys came away with the 27-10 victory. Aaron Rodgers threw for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones was a monster. If you had him in fantasy football, shout out to you. 132 yards on the ground and a touchdown. And he caught 3 for 38 out the backfield and also got in the end zone with a catch and touchdown. Shout out to him. Sammy Watkins, I grind him up last week. He had 3 catches for 93 yards. Salute to that. Green Bay is now 1-1, people. Did they look better? Keep it a C note. Are you more confident after seeing Green Bay in Sunday Night Football? Or is it like don't blow it out of proportion because it was the Bears? Let us know. Keep it a C note. Justin Fields, he threw for 70 yards. Yikes. And an interception. David Montgomery, 122 yards on the ground. He got busy. And Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother, EQ St. Brown, had 2 catches for 39 yards. Chicago's 1-1. Keep it a C note. Do you care about it? Keep it a C note. Can you win with a quarterback like Justin Fields throwing for 70 yards this week, 111 yards next week? Will those type of quarterbacks get you anywhere? Keep it a C note with us. Before we get out of here, I just want to pick one clip one. Right now, which team is the better 2-0 team in the AFC? Is it the Miami Dolphins or is it the Kansas City Chiefs? Pick one clip one. Please keep it a C note with us. Better 0-2 team in the AFC. Cincinnati Bengals, the runners-up in the Super Bowl last year, or the Las Vegas Raiders. Who is the better 0-2 team? Keep it a C note and pick one clip one. Who has a better chance to make the playoffs? The Giants, who are 2-0 right now in the NFC East, or the Detroit Lions, who got their first win today and are 1-1. Pick one, clip one. Who has a better chance to make the playoffs? Keep it a C note with us. Let us know. Let me ask you this, right? Let's go Arizona, Washington. After 2 weeks, which team has the better chance to make the playoffs? Pick one, clip one. Keep it a C note with us. Let's go player of the day for Sunday, week 2. AFC, well, not even player of the day. Let's just go quarterback of the day. I give you 2 nominees. Tua threw for 469 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in a win. Or Joe Flacco, who threw for 307 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a win. Keep it a C note. Who is the quarterback of the day for Sunday, week 2 in the AFC? Let us know. Let's go NFC to wrap it up. Jared Goff, he threw for 256 and 4 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, Sunday Night Football, he threw for 234 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pick one, clip one. Who you got for the NFC quarterback of the day, week 2, Sunday football? Let us know. Monday Night Football tonight. You got Tennessee at Buffalo. Keep it a C note who you got. I'm taking the Bills. And you also got a doubleheader, so we got Minnesota at Philly, both teams 1-0. Who gets the 2-0? Keep it a C note with us. Just because of the receivers, the quarterback, and the running back duo, I'm going Minnesota. Well, who you got, people? Let us know. I appreciate everybody for tuning into the Week 2 recap. Shout out to you if your team made some noise this week. If your team lost, if you're still winless. What can I say? Shout out to everybody that's thriving on fantasy football. Hit us up. Let us know who your top player was this week. And if you won your matchup, make it be known. Keep it a C note with us. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, make sure you hit the like button, hit the sub button, go ahead and follow us. If you like the content, please make sure you share it with somebody. As always, I am your boy Brown. Please do not forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell everybody. Keep it a C note. I'll holla at y'all.
Shit.
This is what I'm feeling like. Da 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 da. Let me tell you what I'm feeling like. Da da da.